elections take place across the UK on Thursday the 6th of May. With a population of 13,500, Duke's Ward covers the centre of Southport and includes the iconic Lord Street and the Promenade. There are 5 candidates standing for 1 available seat. Let's meet the candidates from Duke's Ward. The seat will be contested by Independent Tony Dawson, Michael Prendergast of the Conservatives, Labour's Tom Spring, Liberal Democrats David Newman, and Robert Doyle of the Green Party. The elected individual will join sitting ward councillors Dr John Pugh of the Liberal Democrats and Sir Ron Watson of the Conservatives.
Hi, Tom Spring, Labour Party, Duke's Ward candidate.
My name's Tony Dawson. I'm councillor in Duke's Ward, which covers the town centre and the western part of Birkdale.
Well, I'm born, bred and educated in Sefton, university educated in Liverpool, and a proud local government worker.
I am a pensioner. I have been retired now for a few years and I still am very busy. I work part-time doing planting and felling of trees, still perhaps half a day to 1 day a week.
I've been active in the Labour Party for over 10 years, helped and campaigned with local councillors, being a member of the management committee of a youth and community centre in Main Street, and an Everton season ticket holder for my sins.
I also maintain a voluntary interest which I've had for 20 odd years. I support people in the family courts of Britain and other countries who can't afford lawyers. But my majority of my work isn't in court, it is assisting people to put their own cases, whether it's in this country or abroad.
Through lockdown, many of us have been juggling working from home, with homeschooling children, and worrying about our elderly relatives. I'm a foster dad, so know only too well how difficult it's been. Some people have also lost their jobs, and yet Sefton Council have taken no notice of people's circumstances and still increased the council tax. As a former managing director at Zurich Financial Services, I will use my experience of successfully controlling multi-million-pound budgets to instil a culture of financial prudence to get a fairer deal for residents of Duke's Ward and Southport. A whole-scale overhaul of Sefton Council finances is required. If elected, I'll be asking the awkward questions. I know how to interrogate accounts and highlight the extent of ineptitude within the public finances. I will fight to slash financial waste by seeking efficiencies whilst maintaining high-quality frontline services. Ensure cycle lanes are only implemented with the full community support after meaningful public consultation. Prevent the never-ending increase of council tax year after year. Invest in our neglected town centre instead of pouring millions of our money into Bootle, and take back control of our own affairs by bringing decision-making back to Southport.
Well, actually the most important issue probably is something which councillors can't do anything about, which is to get a decent settlement to the funding for elderly people. Duke's Ward has got the oldest population anywhere, and the government promised to review the funding formula for care when Boris Johnson came in, and still nothing's happened.
The most important issue in Duke's Ward at the minute is the post-COVID recovery for Lord Street. To regenerate, rejuvenate and revitalise Lord Street, the £37.5 million town fund deal is massively important.
I think because my ward contains the town centre in particular, people are concerned that the town should survive and thrive and be something that's welcoming both to themselves and to the outsiders. And so trying to manage the reduction in our retail within the town is very, very important.
If elected, I will work with the leaders of the council, cabinet members and officers to ensure that local businesses in the hospitality and retail sector can see a bounce back in Southport. I feel that people should vote for me because currently there isn't a weekly surgery for residents in Duke's Ward, and I would hold a weekly surgery when we can post-COVID.
I think people should vote for me because I have a record of taking up local matters and also exposing the things that go wrong and speaking the truth to power.
I've lived in Southport for over 20 years and, unlike some of the other candidates, I live in Duke's Ward. I'm married with 2 young children, I run my own business, being a partner in a local firm of solicitors, and I'm also a notary public. The state of our roads and pavements regularly come up on the doorstep, as does the fact that many in Southport feel we're neglected by a Labour-run Sefton Council. If you're asking me to select the one most important issue for Duke's Ward though, then it has to be the rejuvenation of our town centre and supporting local businesses in a post-COVID recovery. There's been a lot of support from central government over the last year or so for local businesses, and the recent award of the £37.5 million of town deal funding for Southport is a huge boost for the town. I want to work with those who obtain this funding, including our Conservative MP Damien Moore, to ensure the money is spent wisely and encourage further private investment into Southport. We've seen with the purchase of the Bootle Strand for £32 million how Labour don't have a great track record in making sound commercial decisions, with this arguably leading to higher council tax rises due to the significant losses the council are now lumbered with. I want to ensure that Southport residents and businesses have someone who will stand up for them. As someone who runs their own business, I understand the pressures and issues that many local businesses face and how some of the decisions taken by Labour councillors based in Bootle have adversely affected businesses here.